This is the handout for the experiment number 8, which is logic gates, and is posted in Blackboard. You are going to print it, and you are going really to read it to continue with this experiment. After printing the experiment, you are going to watch these 3 videos that are also posted in Blackboard. Okay, I suggest you really to do this before you continue, please. Thank you. The third thing that I posted is all the integrated circuits that we are going to use for this experiment. This handout is also posted in Blackboard and is the last one. So you can see on top is the integrated circuit. So this one is the 7408 that has 4 2 input AND gates. Okay, the idea in this experiment is to check the 4 gates. Okay, in the bottom you can see the symbol for the AND gate. X and Y, or 1 and 2 are the inputs, and X or Z is the output. What you are going to get in the output of this circuit of this gate is really the product of X and Y. That means if you see the truth table in the left, you can see that only when the 2 inputs are 1, we are going to have an output. Okay, an input of 0 means that in that input we are going to connect to ground. In the inputs of 1, we are going really to connect to the 5 volts power supply, to the positive of the 5 volt power supply. The first thing that you need to do with all the integrated circuits, you can see in the figure on top that in the pin number 14 we have the letters B subindex CC. Means that this is the pin where you are going to connect the positive of the power supply, 5 volts. And number 7 has 3 letters that are G and D. So that means ground. Okay? So all the integrated circuits to operate properly need to be energized, no matter how many gates are you going to use in your integrated circuit. Okay? So you need to check the first gate with the inputs 1 and 2 and the output in 3. The second gate is inputs 4 and 5 and the output in 6. The gate number 3 is inputs 9 and 10 and output 8. And the last gate, which is number 4, has the inputs in 12 and 13 and the output in 11. So the idea in every integrated circuit is to do the proper connections to check that your gate is working properly. So the next thing that you will do is to set up the voltage that you are going to apply to the integrated circuit. I'm going to use the 6 volt power supply. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to select the 6 volt power supply, and I'm going to press output on. So in this case, I will change the voltage to 5 volts. Okay? So here you can see that I'm setting up the power supply to 5 volts. Okay? So I'm gonna turn the power off, and I'm going to continue explaining you the integrated circuit 7408. So this is the integrated circuit 7408 that has 4 AND gates. You can see in the circuit we have a mark that tell you really where to start counting the pins. So you are going really to install the circuit in your proto board, and you are going to start counting the pins number 1 from your right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. Okay? So the first thing here is that you are going to apply the positive of the power supply to the red line, and the negative of the power supply to the blue line. Okay, that way you can be getting connections to the 5 volts or to ground. Okay, so the first thing that I will do here, I will use a red connector to connect the pin number 14 to the positive of the power supply, and I'm going to use another one to connect the pin number 7 to the negative of the power supply. Okay, so here I have energized the integrated circuit. So now let me explain you how are you going really to check each gate. Okay, so the next thing that you will need really to do here is connect the pin number 1. Connect the pin number 1 to either the positive or the negative of the power supply. Okay, that will give me an input of 0 in the input 1. Okay, so I'm going to do something similar with the pin number 2, and I will connect the pin number 2 also to the negative of the power supply, to the blue line. Okay, and the output is pin number 3. So I'm gonna use a resistor, 1 kilo ohm resistor, that will go to any place in your proto board, and the other side of the resistor should be connected to the positive of the LED, and the negative or the other side of the leg should be connected to ground. Okay, so let me explain you the next part. So the next thing that we will do is really check if the gate number 1 is working. I already connected the 2 inputs in pin 1 and 2, and the output is connected directly from the pin 3 to the LED, and the other side of the LED is connected to ground. So here what you are going to do also is you are going to check your inputs and outputs. So when the 2 are in 0, the output should be 0. When you change the second to 1, so that means you are going to move it from the blue line to the red line, the LED is gonna stay off. So you return it to the same place, and you do the same thing with the input 1 also. Okay, as you can see here, there's the LED is off. So only when I connect the two inputs to 1, you can see that the LED is on. So this verifies the truth table, and you are going to do the same thing with the 4 gates.